There we go. Okay, now my mic works. Welcome. Today, yeah, I'm not late. You are, I promise. So today we're going back to Svelte, mainly because I've got something else I want to work on, and that is Obsidian. I got into Obsidian recently, and I won't be opening up. Hold on, actually. Let's see. Make sure. Okay, that's done. Do that real quick. Let me open up Obsidian, see if I can reveal anything without revealing too much. All right. So, let me real quick. There we go. This is Obsidian, and this is effectively what I'm trying to do. Besides Notion, I still am using Notion. Keep in mind for like general organization purposes, but when it comes to actually writing out and like throwing around ideas and trying to connect the ideas, I found that Obsidian is a lot nicer for this. Why is the music not playing? Is this not hooked up to the correct audio either? Device not connected, it says. Huh? There we go. I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, my audio was all messed up on this scene, OBS scene, and I'm not sure why. So now we should have music. We'll turn it down a bit. There we go. Alright, so now Obsidian is really cool, and but the big thing about it that I really like is that you can make plugins and themes for it, because it's so easily that you can make this stuff so easily. It's not that hard. The problem, Notion is possible through third-party versions of Notion that are technically, I'm sure, against their terms of service, just like Discord, but also we don't see Vencord users getting banned that often. But anyway, so building plugins and themes for Obsidian are both entirely possible and easy. They have documentation on it and stuff like that. But the one thing that I really like is that you can use React or Svelte in your application, or not application, in your Obsidian plugin. And I think that's so sick because it means there's a lot more flexibility in terms of the visual interface. So, while I do know React and we could go for that, I really don't want to. I'd rather write Svelte. I'd rather just write Svelte. Svelte is lean, easy, simple. Not much more than that. Not much more to do there. Now, in terms of what I want to make, I've got a couple ideas that I'm gonna lay out for you guys. Actually, I'm gonna go over here because guess what? Something cool we can do is make an Excalibur drawing. Did that go anywhere? Hold on. Again, trying to be very careful as to not, like, you know, drawing. Trying to find where it inserted that. There we go. It went in somewhere separate. Alright. Alright. So, can I shrink this? There we go. Alright, so that means now we don't have to get any spoilers on the side. So anyway, this needs to change immediately to dark mode. Okay. Anyway, this is a nice example of a plugin. Type Excalibur. There we go. This is a good example of a plugin within Obsidian, and it's literally Excalibur, but it's running in Obsidian, and I think that's just so cool. Just so cool how easy it is to make this stuff. And alright, so Well, this is feeling really chaotic. Let's draw this down a bit. Just nice little swirl here. All right. I'm never happy with my swirls. Anyway, so this is yeah. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. If you can't tell, we'll update transclusions. Install or update Excalibur scripts. I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna have to mess with that. Anyway, so this is entirely possible with their plugins, and as much as I want to get into that, I don't really know if we'll be able to get into the plugins themselves, but I do want to show you guys the ideas I have. So let's go back to Excalibur real quick. Sorry, I had to swap glasses. That's where you probably heard that noise. We're gonna go over here, and we're going to start here. So my first idea is, well, we could just write it out here. So ideas for Obsidian plugins. Firstly, I want a character sheet plugin. Now, this is the main idea I have, and it's something my friend of mine has been wanting to do for a while with some kind of writing app. And when we found Obsidian, this kind of just took over as both our writing apps. So right now, I want to see how I can extend this and use it further. And a character sheet plugin is one of the first things I would do, because this means I can create a more dynamic and easy way to like customize characters and stuff like that. Now, while this is entirely possible with just Markdown, because keep in mind, Obsidian, when you write a new file in Obsidian, all it is a Markdown file. That's it. It's just a Markdown file that looks a little bit fancier because it's rendered in Obsidian. And this can be changed depending on what theme you have. I have Capuchin right now. But this is, as much as that is cool and all, a character sheet plugin I feel like I could really get more into. It'd be a lot more dynamic looking. It'd make things a lot easier to just like, you know, sort out and stuff like that. And I could even add like templates, I suppose. So maybe we'll add a like dynamic sheet from Svelte components. Then we have maybe templates for character sheets we can do further down the line. That could be cool. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those things where some people would argue it's just not needed when you can just make it a Markdown. I just think it'd be cool to make. Especially because it means that you can like I haven't used Obsidian long enough, but it's a good learning experience for one thing to know like what we can really do and like how we can extend that. So it'll be a good learning experience to get into that. For today, I'm thinking we just mess with Svelte though and get into some Obsidian themes, because that will require some CSS, and we can try that instead. My stream is lagging behind like crazy, so oh no. Please don't die on me. Please don't die on me. Yes, thank you. Okay, so now it's not optimizing plug load at the time. State fields. Class exposes operations for reading and manipulating an active Markdown file in edit mode. Reading and manipulating active Markdown document. Oh, so that's cool. So we could like prompt someone to save it. Ah. Insert text at cursor position. Replace range method replaces the text between two cursor positions. If you only give it one position, it inserts text between that position and the next. The following command inserts today's date at the cursor position. Okay. Alright. Well, then here's another way we could look at it. Maybe we could run a command that actually just generates a it just generates an entire character sheet, and then you can customize it from there. That could be another way out. So maybe like if we make an arrow to like this, some box for our ideas, You know what? Let's take these and can I move this? Let me move it. Let me put you in here. So place for character sheets. Alright, and then do we make yeah, templates for character sheets is still a maybe, I think. And we also got, do we make just insert text into a markdown doc? Or do we use a dynamic component based page? That's definitely something to tackle. In some ways, maybe just a shortcut. Looking at it, I know I said we were gonna do themes, but now I'm just like thinking about it. We're brainstorming now, guys. We're brainstorming. So I'm thinking, if you want to modify the selected text, then we can do replace selection. Oh, okay. So we can replace the selection with the text. So, that's another thing to consider. User interface. Obsidian user interface. Editor, view, ribbon actions. Commands. Yeah, we need a command, so we might be doing, yeah. So if we export, extends, example plugin, extends plugin. Okay, async load, this dot add command, print green console, and that's the callback. And is that just how it works, period? What's the editor extensions? Editor extensions let you customize the experience of editing notes in Obsidian. This page explains what editor extensions are and when to use them. The Obsidian uses CodeMirror 6 to power the Markdown editor, just like Obsidian. CM6 has plugins of its own called extensions. In other words, an Obsidian editor extension is the same thing as CodeMirror extension. But text input fields for it. Okay. Full parser package exists for the following languages. That's pretty cool, actually. Okay. It's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, so editor extension, building editor extensions can be challenging. Okay, so we're going away from it. Editor class exposes up. Yeah, we know that, but editor callback. add command, and then we're passing an object along with an editor callback, and then we call editor replace arrange. Okay. All right. No, I think this is doable, and honestly, I do really like this. And we can even like trying to think. Huge documents with millions of lines of text. Huge document. What? Saved memory on string data. That's so funny, actually. But there is that much. Okay. Document viewport. And then you can, okay, so this is how we'd bind something to the viewport specifically. Okay. I think this character sheet plugin could be easily brought down to that, which would make it a lot easier to just do that. And it means we go over here. If we did a component-based page, it's entirely possible, but the complication comes into it would be a whole different page to edit. And that's where I'd be weary of things. So like workspace. Maybe it's here. Inspect the workspace. We can add a ribbon icon. What is a modal? Where is that? Oh. Then we can handle the input. Take suggestions from the user. Okay. Interesting. Expose container elements. We can create elements there. Conditional stylings. Markdown post-processing. Rendered in reading view. You can add your own markdown post-processor. As indicated by the name, the post-processor runs after the markdown has been processed into HTML. Yes, Obsidian plugin. Yes, Purdy. I'm considering making a character sheet plugin where you can like make character if you need, like in writing, when you could make a character, if you how you would describe it, in terms of like details like backstory and stuff like that. It would be cool, because one thing I'm debating on is like I really like just the idea of just like right here when you could just replace when you use replace range to just replace the text. So like you could just run, so we could just run a command to generate a character sheet, and we have a lot more flexibility over something like that. Now it would be very bare bones, but what I like here is post-processing where we can actually render the markdown differently, and this is making me wonder. Suggestion I threw. I did not. Let me pull that up. Pull it up here. Okay. What? Hey, but it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It'd be really funny. It could be a bad idea. That would be really funny. We could consider it like in the end after April 1st, we make this big announcement of like that was a social experiment to prove the dangers of gambling. We just like make it out of like, yeah, that was a life lesson for you guys. Don't do gambling, kids. That could be utterly hilarious. Now that's how you fund a lawsuit. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It would be pretty silly. That would be funny. We just found our children gambling is actually illegal. Had no clue. Crazy stuff. No, it's not a bad idea though, Perny. It's really not a bad idea. I guess you could think it's a bad idea, but it is really funny. Honestly, I'd be down. Then we reveal that we coded the entire thing in Python. Just say, oh, we used Python, by the way. Because we hate ourselves. I will try a lot of programming languages. I don't want to try Python. I can't really explain why. I just don't want to. Okay. Markdown post-processing. Here's my question. Lets you add... The post-processor runs after the markdown. Lets you add, remove, or replace HTML elements to the rendered document. Oh yeah, no, we're not doing it in Python. That would be just a joke. Perny's doing a plug for his favorite programming language, Go. Please stand by while he continues his this commercial break solely for this. I mean, you get stuff done in Python. Do you get it done well? That's the same question I'd like to ask. I'm like, you get it done. I wouldn't say Python is exactly slow, but next to Go it is. When you put it next to a language like Go or even Rust, you're just it's not competing. The only thing that's competing is the fact that Python you could probably iterate faster in. But that's not saying Go is hard to iterate fast and Go's nice. Yeah, exactly. It runs. Isn't that good? It's good, but it's not preferable. Stake.com, crazy glow diamonds, big text. I think that would be really funny. It reminds me, I do need to keep going with Go. I keep getting distracted, though, with, like, a million other things. Like, oh, I want to try Rust. Oh, I want to get deeper in TypeScript. Oh, I want to try Svelte. Oh, I want to try React. Now I have an unfinished Next.js project on my GitHub that I can't decide if I want to go deal with it or not. Probably won't, but you can create mermaid diagrams. Diagram and charting tool. Oh, okay. That's actually quite cool. Actually, this is really cool. Now here's the question. Register Markdown post processor. Find all code. Code blocks. Trim. Create span. Takes text between two colons and replaces it with an appropriate emoji. Okay. Well, technically, what that means is we could render it as a really nice dynamic character sheet then. Question I have will be, if you want to add your own custom code blocks, down code block. Actually, let me try this. Nope. Closing linear, don't want that. It's not gonna render, is it? Nope. But what we can do is package main port 20. I've actually written a code block in Obsidian before. Let's have this can't print line. Okay. There we go. And the review is really nice. Can I delete? There we go. Alright. I'm thinking we just make the shortcut, honestly. Post-processing could be cool. Well, you only got one viewer too. Relatable. Welcome to the stream, P. Const. Bum, 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 bum. Great music. Alright, so I'm thinking. Yeah. You know what? What we could do is we can combine both, because the markdown post-processing would be really cool, and then we can have a post-processing thing that will renders. Can we render a Svelte component here? I would think we can render a Svelte component. Yeah, we create counter.svelte. How do we mount it? It needs to be mounted to an existing HTML element. For example, if you're mounting on a custom item view. Thank you for the follow. You should get, yeah, you got an avatar, there you go. Yeah, you get coins the more you watch, and then you get to customize the avatar. The little guys that dance around before their wolf overlord. Alright. So, it needs to be mounted to an existing HTML element. For example, if you're mounting on a custom item view. Any description of what item view is? Yeah, I do need to actually learn how to actually build the plugin. I just want to see what we can do. Mount the Svelte component. It has to be mounted in an existing HTML element. Can it be mounted? Now, if we go to, yeah, the Discord bot to get finished tonight. Perfect. Bot testing server. Let me in here. I want to test a Discord bot. Gonna say hi to myself. That will be sick, Perny. That will be sick. That'd be cool. Alright, so what I'm thinking is, now unfortunately I don't know if it has to be a pre-existing HTML element, right? So unless we can theoretically target the, where is it? Unless we can theoretically target this element, well, extends item view. Mounted in this item view. Mounts the React View component on this .container.io children one. Yeah, so we can extend we have to extend the item view because that's where we need to view that. Async on open. Do we have the same thing here, or is it rendered different? To the item views content element. Create root. Is that container? Can we do that here, or is that going to mount counter target? Register markdown post processor. Register markdown post processor. Register a special post processor that handles fenced code given a language and a handler. HTML element. This special post processor takes care of removing the pre-code and create a div. Now here's the question. Element HTML elements. Place HTML elements. Yeah, I don't know if a Svelte component is going to work here. Svelte check. Creates components. Yeah, we're trying to. I'd like to see if I could use this Svelte component. I don't really know if it's necessary, considering this. You know what? It wouldn't have to be that dynamic. So no, it would. I don't think it would have to be. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. We just need to work with HTML elements here. Say made in Svelte. No, I don't think it's made in Svelte. I want to say it's made in React, but they have support for Svelte components. It's an Electron app. I haven't touched Electron in a while, so I don't know if it's like you can use more than one stuff, as they should. Whoa, Perny. You're a Go guy. You're supposed to support Wales. I haven't looked at Wales in a while, actually. Have they updated more stuff? Started. They added anything else? Oh, as they should use Svelte. Yeah, they have support for React and Svelte, but not Vue, which is quite funny to me. I'm like, that's rebellious there. Priorities, respect though. Working for SvelteKit? SvelteKit project is the new front end. Okay. I want to make something with Wales. Ha ha ha, Svelte is the default. You contributed to these docs? Which part did you contribute to? I'm reading your docs? Ew. Hold on. You contributed the SvelteKit one. These steps needed to get a minimum. Okay. Installation steps. Front end disk, front end build. That's so cool, actually. Create a file in SvelteKit.wales. Make an executable with. Ha ha ho. Use the SvelteKit CLI. Dang! Look at this peak contributing to open source, guys. Peak contributing to open source. A whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 words plus a comma. Real. Dude is willing to contribute 16 letters and a comma for free? Dude is the feeding America of... Dude is the feeding America of GitHub. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Gamjang bot. Honestly, working for free in this economy. Where is... There you are. Hold on, I need to pull up something on my Twitch dashboard real quick. Theo's on. What if I can raid Theo? I think it's his birthday. That'd be funny if I raided Theo. Stream manager. I don't know if he has raids on though. There we go. Stuff needs to change video, and it wasn't April Fool's. Absolutely awful timing. Theo, if you're gonna make a dramatic video like this, you've got to make it not so close to April Fool's, because everyone is gonna look at that and be like, oh, it's a big Theo joke. And then they're waiting for the punchline after, like, what? How long is that video? I'm gonna guess like 45 minutes. That's not... Oh, T3.gg. Wrong YouTube channel. It's time for a change, and it's only 11 minutes? What? I'm sorry, what did I just... No. We need to talk about this. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. We need to talk about this real quick.
It's been a wild few years, guys. I had no idea any of this would happen
I'm
when
not
I
gonna
first started
spoil
the
it.
channel. I originally only started it because I wanted to vent about tech stuff and better understand what creators needed when I was working on my creator business, Ping. Since then, it's been wild. I never would have guessed we would have hit 100,000 subs in our first year, and my first handful of videos
Yeah,
would
this
blow up the way they did.
45
And years
minutes
later,
ago,
I'd have a
this
whole team
I'm
helping
waiting
me
for the
run this
punchline
channel.
already.
It's been a wild ride. It made my 20s something truly magical. But at the same time, my 20s are now over. I just turned 30, and it's a big
Oh, poor
change for me
Theo.
that's making me reflect on a lot.
Poor
What
Theo.
am I doing? How did we get here, and what's next? In many ways, I want to just keep progressing, turn things up, make better videos for more people.
30 is kind
more
of
the time.
crazy.
In other ways, I'm just looking at the calendar and questioning.
Am I the strangest person for like mildly fearing turning 30 and I am not even in my 20s yet officially? I'm not even in my 20s yet and I fear 30 in some very strange way and I can't place it. And it sounds really weird of me. And I don't know why. I guess it's just because like your 20s are kind of sold to you as like, you know, this time of like when you're a young adult, you know, you're more free and stuff like that. I guess kind of. I don't know. It's weird.
What the
Probably
hell I'm
something
doing.
weird like that.
This is a magical experience, getting to share things I love with millions of people. But at the same time, it's not what I was put here to do. I want to build. I love building. That's always been who I am. And if you've seen how much happier I've been lately, that's because I've been building more. T3 Chat has been an incredible outlet for this urge to just ship. And that's why I kind of want to go back to the way things were. This is a hard decision to make. It really is. I'll be back in just a second.
Theo, what are you doing? Oh,
It's been a bit. God, I'm still getting used to seeing myself in the reflection like this again. It's been a while. It's been almost like what, 5 or 6 years since my hair was its natural color, and over 3 years since the stash.
what?
I'll adjust.
I
I've been
am
around enough
getting
time to observe the history. The
flashbacks.
stash was only
Is this
grown originally
real?
because I was doing a video responding to a Primogen thing, and I thought it would be funny to have a mustache, and I couldn't find my pack of fake mustaches. But then my viewership went up, like legitimately, so I kind of felt like I had to do it. It was fun, but I was kind of playing a character. And slowly over time, I had to lean more into it as the content got more and more popular. And that wasn't great.
I'm sorry. Am I missing something? How is this not a joke? Like this is a joke. There's no way. There's no way he made an entire video about how when he grew out his mustache, he got more viewers, and now he's taking away the mustache. Oh, don't go in the comments. Okay.
I handled it well overall, and it wasn't like I was pressured by people into doing it. It was just the obvious thing to do. You lean into what's working. But at its core, what worked on this channel was never that I was playing into the current fad. It was always that I talked about and did the things I cared about. I made the channel because I missed my lunch.
He says he doesn't get into the latest fad, and yet his entire thing is about reporting, like reacting to latest tech news.
Dinner conversations at Twitch and the deep nerd out sessions I would do with other engineers who cared. COVID hit, and that kind of disappeared for me. And this channel came out of the ashes, plus my need to better understand what creators wanted when I was building Ping. And now it's my life. Now there are 4 people who basically full-time work on this channel with me. Another 3 working on my business over at Ping. It's unbelievable to think this has gone to a point where
He's got more people working on his YouTube channel than his own company. That's actually quite funny to me. There's something quite funny about that.
I can do that, and where my desire to just share things I'm excited about is now employing many people and bringing business success to my other side as well. It's so genuinely cool. But I didn't like the parts that felt fake. And it took a while to accept, but the blonde-haired mustache kid isn't me. At my heart, I'm a skate rat that learned to code because he broke his arm and couldn't skateboard for a summer. And I miss that.
Is that actually true? There's no way that's true. No, you didn't. Like, I wouldn't be surprised in some ways. Like, that sounds like a Theo thing, but...
On one hand, that means I need to skateboard more, but on the other, it means I need to be honest about who I am, how I present myself, and what I do going forward. I haven't had a real vacation in over 5 years, and I haven't taken more than a day off since I went through Y Combinator back in like January to March of 2022. If I'm fully honest, it's been great for me. I like being like this, working on things that are exciting to me constantly and getting to rant about new stuff right when it comes out and also go code and build all the stuff that we're shipping. It's been awesome. But I'm scared I'm going to burn out again. I already went through this in 2023. I'm trying my hardest to be careful. Part of that is why I've staffed up on both sides. It's why I have Julius and Mark carrying everything with Upload Thing and T3 Chat right now. And it's also why I have my channel being run by such incredible people. I miss video editing dearly, but FaZe has become a better editor than me. This is one of the 2 videos I edited myself this year, and as much as I love it, and believe me, I really do, I genuinely miss editing. It's so fun. It's not the right thing for me to be spending my time on. I felt similarly about thumbnails, but I've brought on Ben Davis, who you might know from the Svelte and Go side.
I do know him.
Very quickly becoming the manager of this
I'm
channel.
gonna watch more
and
Ben
now most
Davis.
of the thumbnails you see aren't from me, they're from him. I'll tidy them up here and there and throw together my own every once in a while.
Prony, I have to ask, do you watch Ben Davis? Because that dude is like full-on Svelte and Go everything. Unless I just missed some. I'm pretty sure that's what he still does. The last time I saw him, it was just like Ben Davis. He's basically you, but American. Yeah. Ooh, he tried Elixir. Hold on. I'm not subscribed to him. Well, that needs to change. He did a video on Elixir, watching that. Getting rid of TypeScript? Excuse me? How could you? Honestly, don't blame you in some ways, but also why?
In a while.
Right.
I help with concepts a lot. But what you guys are seeing isn't my videos anymore. It's ours. It's a team of people making this all happen. And I do have to perform for them. I do need to make sure we're doing everything right. And that's part of what made the appearance change scary. This is going to hurt my numbers. It's crazy to think, but my stats will be down as a result of going back to my natural hair and shaving my mustache.
This is
I
dangerous.
know that because I watched them go up when I first grew them in Prime 1 as far as A/B testing, as crazy as that might sound. These are the things we have to optimize for as creators. We don't have to, but it helps a lot. I'm a bit tired of that, though. I just want to talk about the stuff that's exciting to me. And I've been doing that more. And what's been unbelievable to me is that focus on what I'm actually excited about seems to be helping a lot. The channel's numbers are the best they've ever been. T3 Chat has been a huge gateway for me to genuinely get into AI stuff. I've been super excited with everything I've learned since, as well as incredibly frustrated with the state of the AI world and the AI bros who are influencing in it. It almost feels like the JavaScript community did on YouTube when I got started, where it was all beginners and grifters. And all of a sudden, there's this new pocket of experienced people who care and want to talk about the reality of how these things affect stuff. And I love that. That's what I'm here for. And now I get to do it in a whole new space. I'm seeing crazy growth. We're in an awesome spot. But I also need to take some time for myself. We've been on such an insane grind that I have videos recorded for the next 4 weeks. Some of these videos are from so long ago that I was still using Arc. Yeah, that browser I hate now. Obviously, all of these videos were recorded before I did this to my head. So you should expect to see a handful of videos coming out where my hair is still blonde and my mustache is still strong. And I hope that when you guys see those videos, the response isn't, wow, Theo's just reposting old content. Because it's not me. It's us. It's my team. And filming the video live on stream is a very different thing from FaZe editing it, putting it together, taking feedback from the team, from Ben getting it on the channel, descriptions, titles, thumbnails, and everything set up and ready, pairing it with a sponsor, reaching out to the sponsor, managing all of that. The new sponsor change by itself almost 4x'd the amount of work it takes to run this channel. It's crazy how going from working with 5 brands to 50 makes things harder, but it's also why I've been able to justify bringing Ben to San Francisco to work with us full time. It's crazy to think that this channel has in-person employees making it happen now, but it has to. What we do here isn't possible otherwise. I'm not upset about that. I'm so genuinely excited about that. It's incredibly cool, and I'm beyond privileged and lucky, and so thankful for each and every one of you for helping make all of this happen. And I'm incredibly, incredibly thankful that we found a way to make this content that doesn't involve me charging each and every one of you a whole bunch of money in order to do it. We found a way to make a good balance between brands supporting us, you guys getting good content from us, and us making content that isn't biased, ideally, based on the brands that we work with. You're seeing me as I am. And that was always the goal.
I've missed
Wanted
the
this channel
mustache.
to feel like a lunch or dinner conversation with other smart engineers who were excited about cool things.
That's great. I still miss the
And
mustache.
I really hope that we achieved it. And I'm incredibly thankful for the people who have been helping run this channel with me now in order to make it all possible. I think I can finally take a bit of a break. Going on a trip with some friends the next few days, and I won't be around as much. Thanks to this content backlog, we'll be more than fine. There will still be videos every day. Basically,
Sorry, next few days? Buddy, you got videos for the next 4 weeks. Take off at least a week, man. Like, you've got to... Yes, he has a business he's running, so maybe I'm being unrealistic here. But, like, dude, if you haven't had a proper day off since 2022, unless you just don't feel like you need that many days off, you need more than a few days.
as far forward as I can imagine. Previously, when big news came out, I would kind of just drop everything to go film and get a video out. Probably not going to do that as much anymore. Last year, I did 15 conferences in order to meet as many of you guys as I could. I'm going to do less than 5 this year. I need to be realistic about what is working in my life and what I need to be working on with my life. And as much as I love doing all of this, I love building more. And the success of T3 Chat has been incredible. So here we reflect deeper on that excitement and energy that I'm feeling. Half the time I'm live, I just wish I was on my laptop writing code in a corner somewhere. Trying to find more ways to bridge the gap between these things, and also I can't spend all my time coding. There's a lot of other business stuff I have to do. I just don't like the path I'm on right now, where half my time is content, half of my time is business management. I want to find a way to sneak a lot more code in there, and in general, build as much as possible. My channel is best when I'm building a lot. That's clear from the videos at the start of this year. The more I build, the better my content becomes. And I think we're finding, finally, the right balance between all of this stuff. It means that things might shift around more and change. It means I'll be leaning more on my team on both sides to make all of this happen. But hopefully in the end, what it means is more great videos for people like you and all of the others who support us making this content. I hope you guys know how much each and every one of you means to me, even the crappy commenters who get us boosted in the algorithm. You guys are especially helpful.
You guys are very helpful. Thank you for
the support I've
hating me.
gotten, the kind words I've received from people I've looked up to for decades, and the reality of the life I live is not one I could have understood when I was 15. If you told a 15-year-old Theo about what I'm doing and where I am today, he would have laughed at you and said, sure. You never have imagined that a skate rat from a farm town would make it here. And I wanted to take some time to reflect on that and be a bit more honest with myself, and hopefully a bit more honest with y'all too. Sorry for a rambly non-tech video, but I want to talk about this stuff. I hope you guys understand. Thank you all again for the support. It means more than I can possibly
Last 10
put into
seconds, what's he
words.
gonna do?
Can't wait to see what 40 looks like. Until next time, peace nerds.
Walk out of the screen. That's it. Can't see bro's hair because it's the exact same color as the background. Valid, but it does look good too, yeah. It felt like a joke, but it wasn't. Kind of. I really can't tell. I still am convinced that the mustache thing was a joke. But it honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know. Okay. Alright, well, where's my music? Where is it? There we go. There we go. Okay. Alright. Now, we don't really need to use Svelte here, but I did want to go further with Svelte. So let's go inspecting state. Yeah, this is where we left off. It's often useful to be able to track the value of a piece of state as it changes over time. Inside the add number function, we've added a console log statement, but if you click the button and open the console drawer using the button to the right of the URL bar, you'll see a warning and a message saying the message could not be cloned. Yeah. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Message could not be cloned. Open DevTools to see it. Contain the state proxies. Consider using inspect. Yeah, I think we're gonna get into that. Numbers is a reactive proxy. There are a couple of things we can do. Oops. Create an object that can be used in placement of the object, yeah. There are a couple things we can do. Firstly, we can create a non-reactive snapshot of the state with state snapshot. Numbers. Alternatively, we can use the inspect rune to automatically log a snapshot of the state whenever it changes. This code will automatically be stripped out of your production build. Okay. So inspect automatically logs a snapshot. Snapshot is just a, okay, I gotcha, okay. You can customize how the information is displayed by using inspect with function. For example, you can use console.trace to see where state change originated from. Okay. Forgot I can't copy and paste, fine. Inspect numbers. Let's just start with just that. Open DevTools. We can track it, and then if we do with console.trace. Oh, and then it traces it back. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Next, effects. So far we've talked about how reactivity in terms of state, but that's only half of the equation. State is only reactive if something is reacting to it. Otherwise it's just a sparkling variable. It really is just a sparkling variable. That's actually, yeah. The thing that reacts is called an effect. You've already encountered effects, the ones that Svelte creates on your behalf to update the DOM in response to state changes. But you can also create your own with the effect rune. Most of the time you shouldn't. Effect is best thought of as an escape hatch rather than something used frequently. If you can put your side effects in an event handler, for example, it's almost always preferable. Makes this Svelte DOM events, yeah. On pointer move. events. Handle mouse move. On mouse move. Okay. Oh yeah, we need same thing so we can use that. Okay. Let's say we want to use set interval to keep track of how long the component has been mounted. Create the effect. Okay. Effect. This isn't some double pointer. That's not what we're doing. Interval. Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool. Okay. Click the speed up button a few times. That takes it faster because we're calling set interval each time interval gets smaller. Speed. The speed. If we then click the slow down button, well, it doesn't work. That's because we're not cleaning out the old intervals when the event updates. Okay, please have okay. We're returning a clearing up function. Okay. Yeah, this needs to have a semicolon after that. With const ID. Okay, that's cool. The clean function is called immediately before the effect function reruns when interval changes. Right, because interval is a state. And also when the component is destroyed. If the effect function doesn't read any state when it runs, it will only run once when the component mounts. Effects do not run during server-side rendering. Okay. Universal reactivity. In the preceding exercises, we used runes to add reactivity inside components, but we can also use runes outside components, for example, to share some global state. The counter components in this exercise are all importing the counter object from shared.js, but it's a normal object, and as such, nothing happens when you click the buttons, wrap the object in state. Yeah. This causes an error because you can't use runes in normal JS files, only Svelte.js files. Now we rename it to Svelte.js. Then update the import declaration. There we go. There we go. Okay, discuss. Now when you click any button, all three updates simultaneously. Oh yeah, I haven't been... There we go. That's cool. Yeah, see, this is just... Now that I've actually tried React, it makes me appreciate Svelte so much more just for how lean and simple this is. Just for how... Just so simple. Love it. Applying props. So far, we've dealt exclusively with internal state, that is to say the value... Okay, hold on. What the heck? Why is VOD consuming so much CPU? Oh my gosh. Hold on. My CPU's... Without being overwhelmed. Yeah, I'm wondering why VOD. Hold on, VOD mini CPU usage. Taking a ton of CPU and GPU, yeah. Hold on. VOD. What is VOD made with? It's using up like 13% CPU usage, and I don't know why that just sounds extremely unusual to me. Ah! Okay, so that's their full VOD. Join early access. How much I gotta pay for early access? $8 a month? I might have to do that. VOD does look pretty... Yeah, that does look really cool. PNG Tuber Plus. I actually didn't try PNG Tuber Plus. What is it made in? Made with Godot. Godot's pretty efficient. What is VOD made from? No, don't want to do that. What is this made out of? Made with SDL? What is SDL? I've actually never heard of that. Simple direct media layers, a cross-platform development route are used to provide low-level access to audio written in C. I'm fearing this. Alright, so I might want to switch away from VOD. PNG Tuber is made in Godot, and Godot actually can run a lot more efficiently than whatever this is. 13% CPU usage for a simple PNG Tuber app. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. It's not like it's bugging me that much, it's just the fact that I feel like it shouldn't be using it that much. So I'll try another app and see. But for now, this should be fine. Okay. So far, we've dealt exclusively with internal state. That is to say, the values are only accessible within a given component. In any real application, you'll need to pass data from one component down to its children. to do that, we need to declare properties. Ooh, generally shortened to props. Yes, yes, yes. And we declare that as a rune as well. There we go. It's reload. Answer is 42. Yep. Okay. We can easily specify default values for props in nested.svelte. Okay. If we now add a svelte second component without answer.prop. Okay. Very nice. This exercise in Svelte, app.svelte, we've forgotten to pass the name prop expected by package info.svelte. We need to reload this because this didn't reload. There we go. The package is blazingly fast. npm link is broken. We could fix it by adding a prop, but since the properties of pkg correspond to the component's expected props, yeah. Import package info, const package, yeah, so it carries all the same names, so we can use the spread operator. That's so sleek. Conversely, in package info.svelte, you can get an object containing all the props that were passed into using a rest property, or by skipping destructuring altogether. Oh, so yeah, we can skip. Wait, so could I just stuff? In which case, you can access the properties by their object paths. There we go. I do actually quite like that. Here's my question. If I get rid of all of this, can I do this period? I assume I can just do this period. Why is that not? Does it have to be destructured? More stuff. Reference. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, so it does need to be destructured unless we're passing an entire object. I gotcha. Okay. Props is not very long. Nope. Now we have logic. Okay, HTML doesn't have a way of expressing logic. We have to reload this. Yeah, there we go. To conditionally render some markup, we wrap it in an if block. Let's add some text that appears when count is greater than 10. That's cool. That's very cool. Just like in JavaScript, an if block can have an else block. And we use a colon to carry it over. Opens a block, closes a block, continues a block. You've already learned almost all the syntax Svelte adds to HTML. That's so cool, actually. Okay. Multiple conditions can be chained together with else if. Else if count. What is the problem here? Oh. Oh. Is less than 5. When building user interfaces, you'll often find yourself working with lists of data. In this exercise, we've repeated the button markup multiple times, changing the color each time, but there's more to add. Have we gone through this? I wonder if we have. Have I been going through the same one over and over? Maybe we had. Well, I needed a refresher anyway. It's fine. Alright, so... here we go. Each color is this color. I've already gone through this, so I feel like we can skip through it. Iterable or array, any iterable or array-like object. Anything that works with array from. At current index. Each color is as color I. Keyed. By default, when you modify the value of an each block, it will add and remove DOM nodes at the end of the block and update any values that have changed. That might not be what you want, though. It's easier to show why than to explain. Inside thing.svelte, name is a dynamic property. Yep, we've done this before, but emoji is a constant. Click remove first thing button a few times. Yeah, we see the problem. Not the emoji. If you're coming from React, this might seem strange because you're used to the entire component re-rendering when state changes. Svelte works differently. The component runs once and subsequent updates are fine-grained. This makes things faster and gives you more control. One way to fix it would be to make emoji a derived value. But it makes more sense to remove the thing component altogether rather than remove the last one and update all the others. To do that, we specify a unique key for each iteration of the each block. Each thing is thing main.id. You can use any object. Oh wait, that's not correct. Thing.id. This we go. There we go. We've passed thing ID to everything. You can use any object as the key, as Svelte uses a map internally. In other words, you could do thing instead of thing ID. Using a string or number is generally safer, however, since it means identity persists without referential equality, for example, when updating with fresh data from an API server. Oh wait, most web applications have to deal with asynchronous data at some point. Svelte makes it easy to await the value of a promise directly in your markup. Await promise. Okay. Oh wait. Promise. Aha, now you let me copy and paste. Then number. Catch error. Oh wait. Alright. Ah, that's what it is. What's the problem? Oh, no closing bracket. Request failed. If you know that your promise can't reject, you can omit the catch block. You can also omit the first block if you want to show anything until the promise resolves. Oh, await promise. Okay. Alright, as we've seen briefly, you can listen to any DOM event on an element, so just click or point and move with on name function. Like with any other property where the name matches the value, we can use the short form. You can declare event handlers inline. Normally, event handlers run during the bubbling phase. Notice what happens if you type something into the input. Example, the inner handler runs first as the event bubbles from the target up to the document, followed by the outer handler. Now the relative order is reversed. If both capturing and non-capturing handlers exist for a given event, the capturing handlers will run first. Hmm. Okay. Alright. You know what? I will be right back. Gotta grab something real quick, and we'll get back to this. Alright, we're back. Oh, hold on 1 second, actually. Alright, took a little bit too long. But we got things to do. Came back at a good time. It's a good one. Alright. Both capturing and non-capturing handlers exist for a given event. The capturing handler will run first. Capturing. Okay. Component events. About halfway through basic Svelte. Once we finish up events, create an empty vault, download exam. Actually, I don't know how I'll be able to. It contains a compiled version of the plugin. Do I have to work on it in Windows? I guess I can. To make it easy, if I must. I'd rather just. I could just pull it actually. I could just pull it onto Windows. That'd be fine. Because I'd rather work in Linux or WSL, so. Okay. You can pass event handlers to components. Like any other prop in stepper.svelte, add increment and decrement props. And wire them up. You say wire and I think of hot wire and I flash back to the trauma. It's like any other pass event handlers to components like any other prop. Alright, let's see here. Alright. On click. Decrement. On click. Increment. Define the handlers in stepper. Alright. There we go. Value, state. Increment, decrement. Amazing. Perfect. Now we can spread events as well. Directly onto elements. Here we've defined an on-click. This bigger button. New audio.src equals horn. Find an on-click handler in app.svelte. Pass the props to the button. We're fine. What does that do? For on-click honk. Event handlers? I mean, it's just one event handler, right? Or am I missing something? Oh. Oh, I guess it's just future-proofing if we add more, so. As a general rule, data flow in Svelte is top-down. A parent component can set props on a child component, and the component can set attributes on an element, but not the other way around. Sometimes it's useful to break that rule, of course. Take the case of an input element in this component. We could add an on-input event handler that sets the value of name to event.target.value, but it's a bit boilerplatey. It gets even worse with the other form elements, as we'll see. Instead, we can use the bind value directive. This means that not only... Oh, did we start bindings? Oh, okay. This means that not only will changes to the value of name update the input value, but changes to the input value will update name. Okay. So is bind value the directive? I guess, oh yeah. Yeah, because value is a directive in input. Okay. Update the name. So binding it, okay. In the DOM, every input value is a string. That's unhelpful when you're dealing with numeric inputs, type number and type range, as it means you have to remember to coerce input that value before using it. With bind that value, Svelte takes care of it for you. That's cool. That's so cool, actually. Checkboxes are used to toggle between states. Instead of binding to input.value, we can bind to input.checked. Amazing. Okay, I really like the bindings thing, wow. We can also use bind value with select elements. Note that the option values are objects rather than strings. Svelte doesn't mind. Because we haven't set an initial value of selected, the binding will set it to the default value, the first in the list, automatically. Okay. Selected state. Oh yes, we can change what is selected. Okay, that's cool. Because we haven't set the initial value of selected, the binding will set the default value, the first in the list, automatically. Be careful though, until the binding is initialized, selected remains undefined, so we can't blindly reference selected ID in the template. If you have multiple type radio or type checkbox inputs relating to the same value, you can use bind group along with the value attribute. Radio inputs in the same group are mutually exclusive. Checkbox inputs in the same group form an array of selected values. Add bind group scoops. Checkbox inputs. A bind group. Okay. Huh? Where did I mess up? Bind group. Oh. Okay. Can't order more scoops. Okay. Format. Select element can have multiple attributes, in which case it will populate an array rather than selecting a single value. Rather than replace the checkboxes with select multiple. Flavors. Okay. Take you. It's misspelled. I'm too American for this. Oh, there we go. Now we're able to omit the value attribute on the option, since the value is identical to the element's context. Yeah, what am I doing? Select multiple, find value, flavors. There we go. Text area inputs. The text area element behaves similarly to a text input in Svelte. Use find value. Marked value. Lists are cool. In cases like these where the names match, we can use shorthand form bind value. This applies to all bindings, not just text area bindings. Okay. Okay, so that finished that up, and now we only have classes and styles, actions and transitions left, and then we get into advanced Svelte, which has a ton of other stuff. Which, yeah, might not even need, but yeah, so what I'm thinking is we'll get this up, we'll get this up and running, and be able to focus on that. Okay. Yeah, this should be good. Alright. Alright. So, okay. Now, do I want to have to work on it on Git Bash, or do I just work on it on Windows? Frankly, I'll probably find it easier if I just work on Windows, because I have similar SSH keys I can use elsewhere. Does this work over here? It does actually work over here. It used to not work. Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay. Obsidian sample plugin. Let me clone. We clone that to mess with it? Now we could probably just go with this. Create a repository. I want to make this Obsidian character sheets. Right here. Perfect. How about solid pancake? No. No, no. No. Include all branches, no. Perfect. Funding URL. Oh, that's cool. Alright. Is there any way I can get rid of that? Or am I just gonna have to, I know how to. Including the same repo. Right. I will do SSH since it's our own. Okay. Alright. Path to vault. And then, yeah, we have the client in there. Actually, this is a full screen, so we can easily leave it. Okay. Pull this over here. Preview canvas. Where is my settings? There we go. Let me see. Documents, okay. Should find where I put it. Oh yeah, should be down here. Manage vaults. There we go. Right, this vault doesn't have the same themes, but it's fine. Perfect. Alright, so we close this. Find this. Documents. Should take some of this old stuff out of OneDrive too. I haven't touched OneDrive in like so long. I'd like to get out of it. Let's get in here. That's typoed actually. Obsidian. It's typoed to Obsidian. There we go. There we go. If we go here. Alright. Here we are. There we go. Perfect. Now. See. md.obsidian. Yeah, md.obsidian plugins. Oh, right. I keep forgetting I'm not on my ZSH. I'm on Git Bash. Because I'm running this on Windows. Obsidian. Plugins. Boom. Done. Obsidian character sheets. Perfect. Alright. Build the plugin. Code dot. Okay, switch this to Git Bash. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so now we got everything we need. Yes, build config. This is cool. Alright. So that's all good. That's all set and ready to go. Alright. I think that's where I'm going to call it for now because I need some food. We'll work on, now that we got this set and ready to go, means next time around we can go ahead and start working on this. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be streaming the rest of the week because I'm crazy busy, but next week we'll pick up more, and I can't wait to start work on the Obsidian character sheet. So I'm going to do a bit more planning to make sure we got the whole idea hammered out, but now that we got the means to start working, I'm really excited. So that being said, thank you guys for being here, and even though there's no one here currently, it's fine. Is this on a... Oh yeah. Let me get out of this binding here. Alright, let me see who to raid. Probably not worth raiding actually, because we don't have anyone here. Yeah, so. Alright. Alright, that's fine. Alright, well, it's been real, guys. Who's Scritty's doing a game jam, that's cool. You know, we'll just go raid Scritty just for fun. Is that his? Just want to make sure I got the username right. Yeah, alright, perfect. Alright, let's go raid Scritty and check out what he's doing. Alright, it's been real, guys. See ya. See you guys, to those people in the VOD, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.